A couple years ago, we were all in the midst of the pandemic and feeling pretty blue and lonely. I know I was craving a lot of connection, and so I started a local stitching group, which helped me find other crafters and find my people. And through talking to them, I realized how many other people were craving that connection as well. And so we thought up of craft circle kits, a way for people to form their own crafting circles, but without feeling like they're doing it alone.
I think when AJ came to us about a year and a half ago with the idea for this project, what really struck me was that she wanted to bring this aspect of community that we had both found in the group that she had started after the pandemic. And so that was really important to us, was this idea of it not just being about the craft, but bringing people together despite whether they were knitters or crocheters, despite any differences that they had, that they would all be able to bond and connect with each other through the questions and the prompts that were being asked of them.
I never felt like a fiber artist. I didn't really know what a fiber artist was when I first started crafting when I was younger. And just finding a community of other people that have that same passion just made it kind of like click. Like, I love this, I want to learn everything about it. And just having people with that same passion really brings the community together. So with craft circle kits, like, I love that we found like new stitches and how to make the stitches go together, and just learning things about each other as we went through the journey of putting it together.
We all met being part of our local crafting guild called Craft Charlotte. It stands for Charlotte Region Arts, Fibers, and Textiles Guild. It's something that I helped to create, born from a weekly stitch group. We met up every week. We called it our Stitch and Bitch, and that is still thriving to this day. So if you come into Charlotte, North Carolina, you can find us on Wednesdays over at a local brewery called Petty Thieves. But basically, we all would hang out and wanted to start doing more trips and wanted to start doing more community outreach and more formal things that created a bit more of a need for structure. So our local crafting guild was born. When I was thinking about, oh gosh, who could help me bring craft circle kits to life, these two popped into my head immediately. Brenna's an amazing knitter and led us through a fabulous knit along that like re-inspired my love of knitting. And then Caitlin is just such a wonderful, organized spreadsheet extraordinaire. We call her the freak in the sheets. Yeah. But yeah, and Caitlin's been an amazing support system for me, and just in any idea I've ever had with the guild, she's been an immediate thought partner to help me bring it to life.
My mom taught me how to knit when I was younger, but I never really had the patience for anything other than hats and scarves and things that were pretty simple and that I could do pretty quickly. Coming into the pandemic and having a lot of free time that had to be spent at home indoors, I picked knitting back up, and that was when I made my first sweater. I said, I know basic stitches and YouTube will teach me how to do everything else. I didn't know anything about gauge or the type of yarn that I really needed, and so I ended up making a sweater that was probably about 3 sizes smaller than I thought it was going to be. But I was so proud when I got done with that sweater, and I was immediately hooked on the fact that I could make my own clothing, that it just snowballed from there. My knitting skills have just grown exponentially since meeting this group of people.
I have been crocheting for over 20 years now. I started knitting about 3 years ago. I should say I rediscovered knitting about 3 years ago. I also enjoy spinning. I've tried my hand at doing some wool washing. If there's wool involved, I'm pretty much trying it out.
I started crocheting too when I was younger, like 8 or so, and picked it up over the years here and there. But when I found the craft circle AJ started, I pulled the blanket out of the closet that had been moved to like 4 different houses and finally finished it, and then went down the rabbit hole. I learned knitting with AJ when Brenna hosted a knit along. Mostly crochet and knit still, but got my sewing machine out again, picking that up again, get more towards more upcycled clothing, like resizing it to fit.